testing techniques, white box testing techniques, and their types and all. Yes, is my screen visible? Yes, let me know. Anyone? Yes, message in the chat box or just unmute it. Okay. Okay, so in the last class we discussed about white box testing concepts and the different types, and also uh, the different techniques white box testing. So here today we'll discuss with some examples. Okay, some examples how we can cover and how we can do the testing with the code coverage. Okay, so it is a type of white box testing. It is a type of the white box testing. So in the white box testing mainly we cover the entire code of the application, and our target is to cover the complete 100% code, 100% code coverage. So, and also what is the main importance of the difference between the black box testing and white box testing. Okay, so code coverage is a measure which describes the degree of which, okay, the degree of which the source code of the program has been tested. Okay, the code of the program, like you are covered like 70%, okay, or 80% code, or 90% of the statement of the code. Okay, how much you are covered? So that is the code coverage. Okay, it is one of the form of the white box testing, and which finds the areas of the program. Okay, which find the areas of the program not exercised by the set of test cases. Okay, so here we find some of the statements that is not covered in the with respect to the test cases. So it also creates some test cases to increase the coverage of the code and determining the quantitative measure of the code coverage. So in most cases, the code coverage system that gathers the information about running program. Okay, so it also combines that with the source code information to generate the report. A report means how much the code is covered, how many test cases that covers the code and all. So here we discuss about what is code coverage, why we use code coverage. Okay, there are some techniques are there: statement coverage, decision coverage, branch coverage, condition coverage, FSM, finite state machine coverage. Okay, and advantages, disadvantages, and also we'll discuss some examples also. We'll discuss some examples. Okay, so code coverage. So here are some reasons of using the code coverage. So it helps you to measure the efficiency of the test implementation. Okay, the efficiency of the test implementation, because uh, even you can see in the student, like you know the difference between the code that is written by the industry person is different, and industry person is different, and the code that is written by the student is different. Okay, the way of writing, the style. Okay, so in the last hackathon, okay, in the college level, some of your friends they were participated, and in one of the group, I was just evaluator, and the students from one of the colleges they completely copy the code from the internet, or I think it was about the dashboard or the placement not placement. It is about I think exam management system, the project, and the complete project they took from the internet. Even they are not changed the image, okay, the dashboard image, or even with respect to the style of the code, the way how they written the code, okay. So as we asked to show the code of the project, and it was completely copied, as there were very proper comments were there, and the indent and all, okay. It was it is written by some like experts or industrial people. So we can find out the difference, okay. So code means to test the code coverage is very important to improve the or measure the efficiency of the test implementation, and it offers a quantitative measurement. It defines the degree to which source code has been tested. It means how much we can, how much to cover the, or how much need to cover the degree, like 60% of the test is covered, so remaining is 40%, okay. 70% test is covered with the white box testing, so remaining is 30%, like. So these are the some major code coverage methods: statement coverage, decision coverage, branch coverage, toggle coverage, finite state. Means by using all these code coverage method, we are testing the source code. We are testing the source code of a program. Source code of a program. Okay. Suppose if you are with particular this statement coverage, if you are covering the 100%, it is okay. No need to go for, or if there is a time still, it means based upon the your cost, based upon the schedule, so you need to plan the testing, okay. So the main thing is that you need to cover the all the source code program, okay. So suppose in that statement coverage, if only 70% is covered, then you can go with some other technique to cover the remaining 30%. So the main intention is to cover the complete code, okay, to complete code of the program, okay. So in the coverage, statement coverage is the one of the white box testing technique. Statement coverage, as the name indicates, the program statement. It is a white box testing technique. In black box testing, in a black box testing, what are the techniques? Equivalence class partitioning, equivalence class partitioning, okay. Then boundary value analysis, state testing, okay, data testing. So statement coverage is a white box testing in which all the executable statements in the source code are executed at least once. So it is used for the calculation of the number of statements in a source code which have been executed. The main purpose of the statement coverage is to cover all the all the possible path, lines, and the statement of the source code. So here the statement coverage, how we can calculate, like the number of total executed statement divided by total number of statements. Suppose if I here, like suppose there are 10 statements are there, total 10 statement in a program. In that, if I executed, if I covered the 5, number of executed statement is 5, okay. So 50%. I covered the 50% of the code through this statement average. ओके अभी आपके प्रोग्राम में कितने हैं 10 स्टेटमेंट्स है 1 2 3 4 5 6 ओके there are 10 statements are there and here I have with respect to the statement coverage I covered 5 statements are executed out of 10 so there is a 50% it is covered through the statement so that is the formula statement coverage how you can calculate number of executed statements divided by total number of statements. So in white box testing, a tester is concentrating on how the software works. Okay, how the software works in the white box testing. The internal working of the source code concerning the control flow of graph or the flow chart. How the statement how it flows. As can anyone tell what are the main thing is involved in the source code? सोर्स सोर्स कोड में क्या रहता है yes in a program what are the main components of the source code Raj Jakapure yes Raj Madhuri
Nothing.
source code means what actually how you describe the source code of a program
So the source code is nothing but the business logic. What we can talk of in the code.
hmm.
It contains the logic how our particular code will work out on the action of a specific event in the UI.
Hmm. Then
Yes, that's it. So it also contains the comments which a programmer keeps in to keep the track of the logic which he has used.
okay
So source code is the mixture of all these.
okay okay so generally the software means we will look at the source code so there will be wide variety of elements as Madhuri said there are different variety of elements okay like operators functions loop okay then exceptional handlers okay then other different parameters so as comments and all so based upon the input to the program some of the code statement may not be executed okay because there are so many elements are there and some of the code statement may not be executed okay okay some of the code statement may not be executed so the goal of the statement coverage is to cover all the possible path lines what is our target to cover all possible path or the line of code okay so that is our target so how to calculate the statement coverage the scenario to calculate the statement coverage for the given source code here we are talking two different scenarios okay so here there is a program source code so here the print function integer a b print sum is a function result a plus b if this condition is true okay print positive else print negative this is the source code simple for addition of two numbers so in the scenario in the first scenario a is equal to 3 b is equal to 9 in the first scenario so how many total lines are there 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 the total statements are 7 right so with respect to this scenario a is equal to 3 b is equal to 9 so here a is equal to 3 b is equal to 9 okay it is greater than 0 and it is print positive and it is end of the program means so here we are not covering these two statements we are not covering these two statements so how much we are covered the out of 7 there are 5 statements okay 5 statements we are executed so the print is positive okay means first 4 lines and last 5 lines were executed out of the 7. So the statements marked in yellow color are those which are executed as per the scenario. Okay. So there are 5 statements are executed out of total 7 statements. So it is 71%. So with respect to the statement coverage, we are covered 71% of the code. Okay, how much? We are covered the 71% of the code we are covered. So remaining how much? 29% is remaining. Okay, 29% is remaining. Okay, so in this way, we need to we need to find out how much statements we are covered through this testing methods, white box testing methods. Okay, I hope it is clear in the first scenario. Okay, similar to that, see here, this is the how like how much we are covered. Okay, I think most of you are even in the persistent also. I think you people are appeared for the HR assessment in the persistent, and as some of your friends they said that there was a progress bar, like if we complete based upon the state based upon the after attempting the questions, it was showing some progress, like 50% is covered, 60% is completed, 70% completed. Okay, so in this way we track. So here in the first scenario, 71% of the test cases are covered. So likewise in the scenario 2, A is equal to -3 and B is equal to -9. So with respect to that particular program, A plus B, okay. So what is the result? -12. Okay. So in the -12 means it is less than 0. Means here -12 is greater than 0. Condition is fail and it executes the remaining statements. So here how many in the yellow color marked? Okay, yellow color are those which are executed as per the scenario. So to 6 statements out of 7 into 100. 6 statements are covered with in the second scenario. Okay, so this scenario means it is a test case. This is a one test case. Here with respect to the second test case, the total number of executed statement is 6 and out of 7, so there is 85%. The statements are covered. So but overall if you see, all the statements are being covered by the second scenario are considered. Okay, if we consider both first scenario, 71% is covered, and in that we covered all the statements. We covered one in the first statement. We covered 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and 7 we covered in the first scenario. Okay, in the second scenario we covered these two. Okay, so it indicates by using both the scenario we covered the 100%. We cover the 100%. So this is the 100% by combining the both scenarios, both scenario or both test case. Okay, we covered with respect to both test cases or both scenario, we covered the 100% all the test cases. Means we covered the code coverage of a complete a source program. Okay, so in this way you need to find out how much the source code is covered. Okay, so what is covered by the statement coverage? The unused statements, the dead code, unused branches, missing statements. So these are our main target. Okay, these are the main target, unused statements that we need to cover. The main target is to cover the 100% source code of a program. 100% source code of a program we need to cover. Okay, So that is the statement coverage. Then decision coverage, similar to that this statement coverage, decision coverage is also a white box testing technique. Okay, so which reports the true or false outcomes based upon the condition, true or false outcomes of each Boolean expression of the source code. So the goal of the decision coverage testing is to cover and validate the accessible source codes. Okay, so it is very hard to achieve the 100% in the decision coverage. The number of decision outcomes exercised, decision outcomes divided by total number of decision outcomes. Okay, number of decision outcome. For example, here in this particular statement scenario, okay, there is a demo function. If a value is greater than 5, then perform a is equal to a into 3 and print a. Okay, here one decision statement is there. Here in the first case, if the value of a is 2, if the value of a is 2, so what happens? If the value of a is 2, okay, so if value of this a is 2, 2 is greater than 5, the condition is failed, then print a. So the code highlights in the yellow color that will be executed. Okay, here the condition is no, means false. True or false? Condition is failed, and the outcome of this a greater than 5 is checked. Okay, so here that indicates the 50% is covered. Okay, in this decision coverage, okay, यहाँ क्या होता है? Now we are covered with this false statement, so it is 50% is covered. Okay, the next scenario we need to go for this and cover the remaining 50% of the target. Okay, 50% of the decision. So decision coverage 50% in scenario 1. In the scenario 2, for the same code, if we take the value of a as 6, so 6 is greater than 5. So if here the condition is true, here the condition is true, then it executes the next statement, a is equal to a into 3, 6 into 3, that is 18, and print a. So it is covering the 100%. Okay, so with the two scenarios, okay, here when the value of a, okay, the output is 2 as per the condition, and we covered the 50%. And with respect to this, this is for the false and this is for the true. So in this way, you need to write the test cases to cover all the decision coverage. I hope it is you got this point. Statement coverage is different. Decision statement coverage. Statement coverage, decision coverage. Okay, so our main target is to cover the number of the complete the code source code of a program. Branch coverage is also one of the testing white box testing method in which every outcome from the code module, okay, or the statement is tested. So the purpose of this branch coverage is to ensure that each decision condition from every branch is executed at least once. Okay, the every branch is executed at least once. It helps to measure the fraction of the independent code. So here the branch coverage is number of executed branches, the number of executed branches divided by total number of branches. Okay, branch statement, okay, statement, operators, functions, branch, the condition statements, branch statement. So number of executed branches divided by total number of branches. So here we'll see one example, the same source code. Okay, if condition a is greater than 5, a is equal to a into 3, print a. So here you can see the condition. Okay, suppose if the condition is true, if the branch statement, if the condition is true, yes, then it performs the a is equal to a into 3. If this condition is fail, no. Okay, unconditional, this is no, and this is a conditional branch. Okay, yes, no, and it is unconditional. Whatever it is, conditional. Okay, this is an unconditional branch statement. Okay, so here how we can cover the branch statement. Okay, so with respect to the first, with respect to this value of a, means when the condition fails. Okay, for the first test case, the 50% of the coverage. Okay, so based upon the condition of the branch, we covered 33 percentage, and the second is 67 percentage. So similar to that condition. Okay, condition means here all true or false. Okay, true or false based upon the condition coverage. We need to calculate how much the statements are covered. And finite state machine coverage is certainly a complex type of code coverage. Okay, complex type of code coverage method. So it works on the behavior of the design, and also you need to look how many time a specific states are visited and transited. Okay, how many times the specific states are visited. Also checks how many sequences are included in the finite state machine. How many sequences? So it is a complex one, but you need to improve the security of your code. You need to cover the source code of a program. Okay. So which type of code coverage to choose? There are so many different types of techniques are there. Which type of code coverage? Okay. So in order to select that, so the code under the test has a single or multiple undiscovered defects. Okay. The main target is to cover some undiscovered, because before this before the white box testing we have gone through like black box testing and all. So the main target is to find some undiscovered area, undiscovered code, undiscovered defects. Okay, then cost of the potential penalty. Okay, the cost of lost reputation. Okay, cost of lost sale means it is depend upon your how you cover and how it works your complete application, because your application it works mainly with respect to the how you write the code and how you test your source code. For example, in the login functionality of a banking software, suppose if anyone is logging without registering. Okay, without registering, if anyone is logging, or even though if they are logging with the credentials and without any OTP security and all. Okay, without OTP, it is a very important security in terms of when we log into any transaction. Okay, to our registered mobile only we'll get the OTP. Suppose if there is no such security, okay, then it is a huge loss to the organization. Okay, so we need to think in terms of all these cases, and we need to improve the code coverage in source code. Okay, so these are all some differences, and there are some tools are available, uh, code coverage tools. Okay, so try to go through these, like some open source tools are there, like Covertura. It's an open source coverage tool that coverage by instrumenting a code base and analyze which lines of code are executing, as in this particular document I have shown with a color code. Here we are shown that these are the five lines of a code is covered, that we are shown with a yellow color. Okay, So similar to that, there are some tools are there, so they will find out, okay, which line of the code that we are covering, or which are the not executed, which of the lines are not executed when the test suite runs. Clover also reduces the testing time by only running the tests which cover the application code. Okay, the benefit of Clover is it reduces the testing time. So likewise, you can go through these open source code coverage testing tools, CoView, CoAnt, code coverage tools, and each have their own specific functionality. Like for example, this CoView and CoAnt, code testability, path coverage, branch coverage, okay, metrics. So you can just go through the internet. What are the white box testing, open source testing tools? The advantage of the code coverage is it helps to evaluate a quantitative measure of the code coverage, like 70% is covered, 82% of the code is covered. Okay. Like the quantitative measure, it allows to create test cases to increase the coverage. Create a test cases to increase the coverage, and also it allows you to find the areas of the program which is not exercised by the set set of test cases. Means uh, if suppose if some of the statements are missing with the test cases, so those unattended, okay, no, so some of the statements that we can cover with the code coverage. And what are the drawbacks? So even when a specific failure is not implemented in the design, the code coverage still reports it is a 100%. Okay, the code coverage means it is based upon the whatever the code is written. Okay, if any specific feature is not implemented in the design only it is not implemented. Okay, so code means it is to cover all the coverage of all the statements. So it is not possible to determine whether we tested all possible values of a feature with the help of code coverage. So with the help of tool and all, we can do that. Okay, so statement coverage, condition, branch, okay, toggle and all. So guys, white box testing, it is very important. White box testing. Okay, white box testing and black box testing technique. Black box testing. Okay. So you just um, go through the different testing types, techniques. Okay. Equivalence class partitioning, boundary value analysis, the important. Okay. Data testing, then state based testing, and white box testing that covers the statement coverage, branch coverage, okay, condition coverage, okay, code coverage. So these are all the different techniques. Okay, so you just go through all these techniques, and also if possible you will discuss some of the tools in the tutorial section. Okay, in the tutorial section we'll discuss